Ask a question here of you, and to answer honestly, do you find yourself at time where you've got a level of fear to work with your camel? Answer that question if you can, if anyone's willing to answer that question, and then we can work out, okay, well, what is it that you're fearful of? Okay, is it a fearful of being kicked? Is it a fear of, being bitten? Is it a fear that, these animals do grow big? And because one thing that we really want to emphasize within the training process, and this is where we've systemized it in such a way, the safety factor is really important.
Because it's really normal and natural to have that fear, and in fact we encourage you to keep that natural fear when working with camels. Like it's a slight amount, obviously the more you work with them, the less and less that fear is. But there's some camels that I'm always watching my back, like because I don't understand them yet. Like, this is the thing, like, yes, trust-based training works for every camel, but every camel has a different personality, like us humans. So some take a little bit longer to figure out, or Russell might figure out a camel and I'm just like, I'm not getting this camel, because it's like building friendships. It's like some friends you will really get and love and you'll click straight away, and other friends you're like, yeah, I don't really understand you, and that's the difference with this type of training. Yeah,
well, let's take the example of Taggles there. Yeah, Taggles. Tara didn't understand Taggles at all.
Oh my God.
She didn't understand him at all.
I called him... No, I shouldn't say that. I won't say that.
No. But did not understand him. And I just loved the guy, like.
And I couldn't understand why Russell had this love for him.
He's just an amazing animal. And but it took a little bit of time for Tara to turn over. Okay, it's not just the camel turning over, it's also the person turning over sometimes, because you're looking at a two-way relationship here.
It's so true.
All right, now in the process of talking about this heart-centered training, I'm looking at two onions. Okay, and I do explain this, where you've got yourself, you're an onion, and the camel's an onion. All right, and you've got levels of fear, layers, if you like, that need to be removed. And once you've removed those layers, then all you've got is the heart of the onion. There's nothing left. Okay, so, Tara's fear of Taggles actually translated into, I don't like that camel because he's a dick.
Well, I don't like that camel because I fear him.
But did you know that was fear? At the time?
No, I did not. No, I thought it was just that he was...
He was a dick. But he wasn't.
And now he's one of my best camels. Like, when I think about Taggles, my heart goes pitter-patter, and I'm just like, oh, he's the love of my life, this camel. And this is the interesting thing with challenging camels, right? Often, there hasn't been a circumstance that I'm aware of yet where the most challenging camels end up being the best camels for you and your personality match. Like, like there's Taggles, like, totally won my heart. He's like, and me and him have the closest relationship, because I think also camels definitely they're a bit like dogs, like they have their one owner thing happening. That's what I've noticed coming from the horse world, and having dogs and stuff like that. I've noticed that camels have this whole one ownership thing, right? They're like, oh well, I like that person. And so Taggles took a while to like me, probably more than Russell now. Don't tell Russell that. And but we just have this amazing relationship where we're just like head over heels for each other. And there's still, he still does silly things, and I'm like, oh, Taggles, he's just being silly, but I'm so willing to work with him now. So
it's interesting that comes up, because we've got another camel which isn't here in the background, but she is quite dominant. She's the matriarch, if you like, of the herd.
She's very, very sweet, like super sweet. Like, she'll be all over your face, and your eyes are melting. You're like, oh, she's so sweet. But then you go to walk away, and she follows you. And then she runs, and this is her dominant behavior. So we're starting to figure her out. Like,
oh, I've worked her out. I worked her out a long time ago.
Yeah, so Russell quicker than me.
Love her. She's great.
And I'm just like, oh, patience, Tara, patience.
Yeah.
Trevor says that yes, understanding sounds they make and mannerism and learning patience. Every camel sound means something different for every camel, generally speaking. We thought about doing this YouTube video once about camel sounds and their mannerism. We're like, this is a really hard one because some camels will like groan, but that could mean completely different to why another camel could be, you know, making their bellowing sound. And it's like, oh, you know, so we might figure it out one day and just go, okay, well, this is how we can put it together in a video. But all in all,
AI.
Or AI.
AI.
Yes. I mean, we can tell with our
keep
herd.
talking about this.
I mean, this is the thing for you, Trevor, is that, you know, getting to know your camels better and better. You're like, oh, I know what that means. You know, like these guys here, we know what. I'll be lying in bed, and because our camel's paddock are near our bedroom, and I'll hear a camel, and Russell go, oh, who's that? I'm like, oh, that's Coco. Like, I can tell the difference with their sounds. And, you know, I can tell, like, he's probably calling out to somebody, or he wants us to open the gate to you.
Usually it's Mia. They're actually in love.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're in love.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So this is the things with their sounds and mannerism, and they're all different, Trevor. So you've got to, and I know you've signed up for Virtual Camel School, so you'll be working with their different personalities in Virtual Camel School, which will be good.
Can help. And I'm going to give you a little training tip that I don't even think I've even told you, Tara, this one. Yeah. When I first got into camels many years ago, you know, they got these brand new camels, you know, and they were still very fresh. Okay, still did, you know, 3-day training with them, and took them for a couple of days of walking, and that's all I had. So I got them home and had a little yard. And I thought, well, how am I going to get them to, you know, realise that I'm actually okay? That it's not all about asking them to do something, okay? It's not all about that. It's about being comfortable with who I am in their presence, and vice versa, that they're comfortable with me in their presence. So this is what I used to do. The camels would be eating like these guys, okay? And I used to walk around and pick up sticks and throw them back on the ground, and, you know, just shuffle around, and so
Be in the presence of.
like this, you know, just, you know.
Oh, there's a stick.
There's a stick. I'll just bend down and pick it up and look at it. You know, and I take no notice whatsoever of the camels. I just shuffle around and take no notice of them whatsoever, and I'd do that for an hour. I'd look like an idiot. But in that hour, believe it or not, that was actually work in training the camels. That they were comfortable in my presence. So I'd be just walking around, kicking dirt, you know, not really not making eye contact with the camels at all. No contact at all. In fact, I almost ignored them. Now, if they shuffled around, then I'd just shuffle around with them. You know, I wasn't chasing them or anything like that. I wasn't particularly trying to get into their space, although I did. And they eventually relaxed into that.
And I would say number one thing is where most camel owners / handlers go wrong with camel training is they get in there and
try to get into their space too quickly.
And yeah, and just do like, okay, well, we're here to do work, we're here to do the practical.
I'm here to turn on the key to the engine.
Yeah.
All right, and that's sometimes you got to switch that away, put that away. All right,
hide the key.
Hide the key.
Put
from,
it in the freezer.
Hide the key from the kids. But yeah, sometimes you got to switch that away and realise that, you know, it is, if you're creating a bond with someone, then it's not all about work. It's like our relationship, you know. It's not all about doing stuff together all the time. It could be just simply, oh, I'm in the kitchen, you know, cooking up some toast, a Vegemite and toast, something like that, and just walks past. Right? And I don't have to say anything to her. I don't have to tell her to do anything, and she doesn't have to tell me to do anything. And, you know, we've got this bond and relationship. We can be in space and feel comfortable about that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's something that you want with
and
your
that's
camel.
exactly what we teach in Virtual Camel School. Like, we will teach you the foundations of how to get camels to accept you, because this is the thing, is they need to be able to accept you. That's the most important thing, is getting that acceptance.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that, your foundations, just like building a house, are going to be really, really unstable. And that's why I think, particularly when people have like a baby camel. They're so cute and they want a lot of attention and they're just like in your face. And then they get to like 3 or 4 and they like start getting into this rebellious teenage years. And the camel owners will contact us going, oh, we had such this beautiful relationship, blah, blah, blah. And
now it's starting to bite.
And now they're starting to, you know, bite or
something.
whatever. So this is the difference.
That's right.
Is that this is why it's so important to set up the foundations in whatever age they are. I mean, we usually work with camels above 1 year, but you can start with younger camels as well. It just depends on the circumstance that you're in. Like, I mean, we're in a luxurious situation here where, you know, if we've got baby camels, we won't even touch them for the first year. Like, we'll just let them be with mum, sort of thing. But I know in the States it's very different, where you get a lot of bottle raised babies and all that sort of stuff. So it really depends on the circumstances and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
If you've got any more final questions about camel training, and if you'd like us to answer any, please do let us know. So thanks for tuning in, guys.
All right, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
See ya.
If you found this Camel Q&A helpful, please let us know. Leave a review wherever you're listening from.
Do you have a camel question for us? Head over to camelconnection.com to ask your camel question now.